come. Oh, wow. The conversation was on set as we geared up, of course, to be able to come straight to you in our Kickstarter. I was engaging one of the guests here on exactly why the ability of politicians to change minds is something that we need to study, because many of them today are holding one opinion and the next day they're holding a totally different opinion. The Kickstarter is examining the politics of the opposition in the country beyond the rise of new political parties to creation of a sustainable democracy. Many times, opposition parties and their positions in the national legislature is a central component of the democratization process, but the wave of democratization across Africa is one that offers us a very limited prism through which to look at the things. Within the context of Uganda, we have with us a new formation, a new political party as the country gears up for the 2026 general election. Allow me to introduce my guests this morning. I have Dr. Judith Lukwago. She is a member of the National Unity Platform and a leading social justice advocate. Many thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
I'm also joined by comrade or Colère. I always want to get that name right. It has an E and an R, but in the dialect, something could change. Opio Lo Amano, spokesperson of the Democratic Party. You're welcome to MorningAtNTV.
Thank you.
Great. Let me begin with Mr. Opio. You are a member of the Democratic Party. Do you hold a lifetime card, if that is a description I can take, of the Democratic Party?
Well, in DP, under the Constitution of Democratic Party, we don't have such a thing like a lifetime card or lifetime membership.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is okay to jump ship when you feel things are not aligned.
Free entry, free exit.
Okay.
Yeah.
The reason I wanted clarity on that is to bring the context of the ability of politicians in Uganda to switch political vehicles as and when they deem it necessary. In Kenya, it seems to be a widely practiced thing. In Uganda, when you do that, there's a lot of condemnation and criticism that comes with it. But should we criticize politicians for changing formations or seeking new vehicles ahead of an election? I guess we shouldn't. Dr. Nalukwago, the National Unity Platform finds itself in a sport of battle as a political party that is widely seen to give the national resistance movement ahead of the 2026 election a run for its money. The reason I am concentrating on that as I get down to capturing the fundamentals of our discussion this morning is to understand right now as we talk, we have ultimatums that were given to some members who are now free to change and go to other parties. Just give us an update on that. It's also going to give us the context within which the discussion will proceed.
Of course, the party gave them an ultimatum, one, to come and apologize, especially to Ugandans,
That's
because
right.
we've seen what most of them did. Many of them were involved in things that are involved in moral issues, basically. So the party advised them,
Wow.
come and apologize to Ugandans. After apologizing to Ugandans, for us, the party is still open to you. So it's upon them to either come and apologize or they can exit. Like my colleague said, even our party, NUP, is free entry, free exit. So if they do not wish to apologize, if they think what they did is right, it is okay for them to stay where they are. The party will move on, other members will join. So it's not a do or die. They can always come back or they can always leave. So we are just waiting on them to take the necessary steps, whether go, exit, whether come back into their party.
Interesting. I love the fact that you two agree that it's a case of free entry, and free exit, why then do those who change get to be criticized so much? Mr. Pio.
Okay, thank you. You started the show by asking me a question. You didn't give me a chance to say hi to my people.
My apologies, please do.
No worries, it's okay. I still have it. Allow me in a special way convey my regards to the people of Palisa County in particular, and the members of the Democratic Party, especially the delegates, because from 31st to 1st of June, we shall be having our National Delegates Conference that is to be held in Imbarara. And I am seeking their mandate to renew my term of service for another 5 years. And I hope they appreciate what I am doing and what I am doing for the party. So I am without a doubt that they will definitely grant me that. You asked a question as to why when new political parties are formed, those that do form them are criticized. That is true because, especially in Uganda, when you look at the circumstances under which political parties are formed, I would say the new political parties are formed, they have a common denominator. They have a common denominator. One, they are basically formed towards elections, a few months to the voting time. And then they are formed as a result of disagreements from the existing political parties. So the members that do disagree elect to form new political parties. Now, in politics, we stand on principles. Some of us do stand on principles. Now, the principles and values on which somebody stands, in most cases, do not change. If you see them changing, then that means that they were either seated on a flimsy grounds or they were anchored on selfish aspirations. I want to tell you that political parties that we have in Uganda, a few of them, actually, you would say they do not differ in a substantive manner in ideology. They are center-right. I mean, for us, we are center-right as a Democratic Party. Others are leftist. That is where we are. Now, when you ask the purpose for which these new political parties are formed, especially at the timing that I've just mentioned, towards elections, you realize that they are basically creating vehicles that they are to use in the period of elections. That is one. Two, they are also targeting what happens after elections. They are actually laying a table, they are preparing a table for them to eat. But when you look at... say
that again? They are laying a table for them
They are laying a table for them to eat. I do not know whether you get what I'm saying. I don't apologize for that, because I mean it. They are laying a table for them to eat. Now, these political parties, especially these new ones that are mushrooming, they are just a platform for eating, because there is no fundamental reason. For instance, the Honorable Mpuga just left the National Unity Platform, but before leaving National Unity Platform, he left DP. Now, in a span of not more than 5 years, he has left DP, he has left NOP, and he has formed, actually he has procured. Because
the Democratic Front.
Because when you read the literature and the statements that surround the establishment of Democratic Front, you realize that there was an arrangement where an existing party was handed over to him, and then they changed the name. Now, fundamentally, there is no big cause that would actually prompt him to form a political party. He did that because he was accused in his former party of a number of things which I do not want to delve into. I am bringing him as an example because I don't want to discuss individuals, but I'm bringing him because he's now the point in question.
The context, I understand.
He's now the point in question. So, fundamentally, National Unity Platform did not change the ideology for which it stands. That you would say that the honorable member left simply because there was a shift from the ideology that they had agreed on. So it is an irreconcilable difference. Now, these are mere squabbles. And mere squabbles that are formed by egos of politicians. Because you do not want to be rebuked or to be, guided, you feel your ego is going to be challenged, you determine to move out of the political party and establish one where you will become the bull in the crowd. This is exactly what's happening. Look at the FDC and the PFF, the same issue. Look at DP and NUP, the same issue. Now, political parties that are formed after independence, especially these that are formed on the President Museveni's era, they are basically carrying a common denominator. Formed, which has two angles. Formed towards elections, formed by individuals that have disagreed in their former political parties. And these are basically formed as a platform for eating. When you scrutinize them and what they believe in, you realize that there is no fundamental difference. There is no shift.
You've just inadvertently posed one of the questions to Dr. National Unity Platform was formed well when President Museveni is in power. We want to ask the question, what was the underlying ideology? Are you here to eat too? But the other issue that is more substantive, especially in line with our discussion, is that Mr. Mpuga has on several occasions stated that the National Unity Platform is anchored on Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu as an unchallengeable figure, more like a god, and that instead of being a political party, it's actually a cult. And that is what he says are some of the reasons he fundamentally chose to move into another political dispensation. Tell us about how you view Mr. Kyagulanyi himself, but also respond to this accusation that he's a demagogue within the party.
On the contrary, of course, many say that these opposition political parties, many of them emanate from the fact that there is disagreement with these leaders in their former parties, which is true, a number of them. But NUP, I did not see Robert Kyagulanyi belonging to any political party before NUP was formed. He was, even when he stood as MP, he was independent. So that accusation on NUP is false. He was an independent candidate, and when he saw that he wants to build something, that's when he started National Unity Platform. I think we can all agree on that. But also moving forward, one is, as a party, we want to change the governance of the country from military rule to civilian rule. That is one of the fundamental principles of the National Unity Platform. Because we have seen since independence what military rule has done to this country, how it has not developed the country, how people have been oppressed in these military regimes. So that is what the party aims to change. There are so many other things, of course, the party aims to change, but that is one of them, because all other reasons come from the fact that we are under military rule. But also moving forward, I wouldn't like to discuss Honorable Mpuga, but because I've been asked a direct question. So one, what Honorable Mpuga is saying is literally a fallacy, because one, so does he mean that he's also a cultist because he joined the National Unity Platform? well knowing if he knew that it was a cult, why did he join it? And that is what Mr. P has talked about. Many of these people are milk-card politicians. They do not stand on ideology. The truth is, most of the opposition political parties have similar ideologies. The differences of why these people are being maybe abused or anything that is happening to them when they change political parties, the fact that how do they depart from these parties? That is what we have to ask ourselves. Many of them depart from these parties, like he said, because of ego, because they have failed to resolve these internal small issues, like the Mpuga issue on the 500 million. The party gave him time. It gave him space within the party before anything got out to first clear his name. And he refused to reply to the allegations. What did you expect the party to do? And these things spilled over to the public. The party had to respond because this was a leader of opposition and a national unity platform. So one is Mpuga's accusation that NUP is a cult is wrong. It's not true. It is false, because even him, it makes him a cultist by joining this party he thought is a cult. And when you look at him, the reasons he gave or the reasons he departed, he didn't depart before. Maybe if he had departed before the allegations of the 500 million, would accept that maybe there are some other issues that he's speaking to that people had not yet seen. But literally the party gave him chance to either apologize or come back to the party and hold his former positions, because at least the party, we agree the positions that he held as the Uganda deputy president of NUP, they were taken away from him until he took the right steps. So for me, I do not agree to that accusation. It is really false. But him as an individual, he just wanted to feed his ego. He just wanted to get a platform where he can do as he wants without being questioned.
For eating.
Yeah, basically for eating, that's the truth, without being questioned. For me, I will not go too much into eating, but he just wanted a place where he can do whatever he wants without being questioned. That is why he formed that political party. It's not anything new. And for me, I have nothing much against him. We just wish him luck. Because, like, for example, if you have an extended family, if you have a family and you produce so many children, we think that you're getting a lot of labor. That's what we think in African society. So probably for us, the opposition, we should be happy for him.
50 years ago, it was a case of...
yeah, we should be happy for him that probably is also going to help us in reduce the labor we have in resistance against Museveni, but we are yet to see. We are going to judge with time to come.
Interesting there. I hope Mr. Lubega Mukaku can make it, because some of the questions are very, very direct, and he ought to respond on behalf of his boss. But allow me ask Mr. Opio. Mr. Mpuga, Lubega Mukaku, and a host of other politicians who are within the Democratic Front or within the alliance that is superintending the Democratic Front were former DP members. There has been a contestation where some people say those who depart from the Democratic Party never really leave, on account of the fact that they hope that the Democratic Party can return to the straight line that they hope, or rather they began with. There's also contestation that the current memorandum of understanding with the National Resistance Movement is a pain point. What's your say on that? Those that have gone, have they been allowed to go?
Well,
have they been given the leeway?
Well, I think I should first make something right. Honorable Mpuga and the others ceased being members of Democratic Party some time ago. And you would say nearby or next, they are former members of the National Unity Platform.
Technically.
So probably. So, but when you brought in, when you juggled in the statement that it is assumed or it is said that they don't leave. I think...
no, you will agree with me, and these are statements that are made by the same officials, but also by observers, that the Democratic Party members, most of them, are increasingly hopeful that if the DP returns to where it started, maybe reconciliation is possible.
No, there is something that we should all appreciate. Democratic Party is, you'd say, the mother of these politicians in question that you're talking about. And when you have a child, when a child is born to a woman or in a family, definitely, even though they cut ties with the family members, it does not mean that the blood of that family, of the parents, will also be destroyed and it will also cease. The DNA will remain.
It stays.
So I want to agree with you that regardless, as a Democratic Party, we trained these people. We introduced them to politics. They are nurtured. They play. We gave them what you would say the best training in politics through UYD and through the mainstream. Now, juggling in the cooperation agreement between DP and the National Resistance Movement, I think that is, it is, you'd say, counterproductive now in relation to the exiting of the Mpugas, because they left a long time ago.
Long before
even before the cooperation agreement is formed. Now, just to comment on that, I have always said that the idea of cooperating is a good idea. It is a very good idea. You talked about the politics in Kenya. And Kenyan politics is more characterized by, association, cooperating, uniting, different political players working together and forming a team to present the best of what they think could be the best leaders in the country. Now, whether the content of the cooperation agreement between the DP and NRM has been respected, or whether the parties have played their part on their, they have played their obligations or not, that can be a discussion for another day. But you and I should agree that generally the idea of cooperating is a good idea. And actually, as DP, we are glad that we did introduce that into the body politic of our country. That is one. Two, I think we shouldn't lose a point. We have politicians who are opportunists, and then we have leaders. Now, leaders are those that actually stand on the principles and the values. And these values should, regardless of what value, but they should have a characteristic of being people-centered. They should actually shun selfishness. Now, opportunists do anchor their ambitions and aspirations on selfishness. Whatever that they elect to do, they first ask a fundamental question, in quotes: how do I benefit out of this? These are the politicians you will find one day belonging to this political party, and the other day, toward these elections, they join another political party because they believe that the new political party they have joined will help them win elective positions, and they keep their survival progressing. If you are a leader and you have served your people very well, it does not matter. Ugandans do know who has served and who has not served. I can give you one example. In Uganda here, NUP became very strong. Actually, the wave of NUP was very, very strong. The force that NUP came with was very strong. To the extent that they won 55 seats. Now, DP members, 10 of them crossed from DP and they went to NUP. Not all of those that crossed won the elections. Because, why? Because Ugandans were able to identify those that had not worked. But also, not all of the members of parliament that remained in DP in Uganda lost? No. Actually, we even have new members who joined, but under DP. And even NRM, there are some NRM members. Why am I saying this? I am saying this because I believe the Ugandans down there, they can know who has worked for them and who has not worked for them, who is worthy and who is not worthy. So it does not matter which political party somebody comes from, as long as you serve the people diligently and you do your responsibility as a leader, there would be no reason for you to buttress or embellish your candidature by joining another political party that you think will help you win easily.
Let Doctor share with us what safeguards the National Unity Platform has in place. Because when Mr. Opio speaks of strength and a wave that many other politicians wanted to be to take advantage of, it seems like it's going to happen again, that some people would want to take that advantage, that either NUP still has some sort of wave, you know, euphoria that it still has, and they want to come on board. I know the numbers work well for the party, but how do you ensure that those who are joining are not actually coming through on account of the wave or the ticket, but to actually buttress, if the word of Mr. Opio is anything to use, the party that is NUP?
In 2020, of course, we were faced with challenges, being a new political party, of course, and given the limited period of time we had between the formation of the party and the general election, of course, we agreed the mistakes that were made. The politicians, we gave our party tickets without looking clearly at their track record, because if we had looked at some people and their track record, we wouldn't have made the mistakes we made with giving party tickets. But we also know that there are politicians, like we said, who are milk-card politicians, that when they're not given the party ticket, they're going to depart from the party. But we've seen them. You've seen many of them who joined from the DP, and they were not given party tickets. And their point of disagreement with NUP was basically that. And many of them, you saw how they behaved towards the party after they were not given party tickets. But for us, that will not be that will be a non-starter for us. We shall not be hurt by their departure, because for us, our party is not a milk card party. So we are ready. We are observing the track records of those political players who are joining NUP. Many MPs have joined, I think you've seen the past weeks. And many councillors and all other people are joining. But we are saying, as a party, we are going to look at them. We are going to look at their track record. We are going to look at what have they done for the people in their respective positions they have held in the councils, in the parliament. What laws, what have they championed? That is what we are going to look at. So we have time, which is different from 2021. 2021, there was a lot of things happening, people power in UP. There was so much. It was very difficult to internalize and maybe take 100% the right decisions. But at the moment, we are ready, and we are going to take our time, and no one is putting us on pressure. So if you come to our party and you've been an NUP, you've been a member of parliament and you don't get the party ticket, please, we do not care whether you leave. We would love to have you stay around, but if you leave, it is on your own accord.
Help us clarify the matter of given and won the ticket, because most people think it's being handed to particular persons, yet people ought to contest it, and then the merit aspect plays. What is this around the new ticket that people are so, you know, agitated to the fact that it's either given, handed to some people, and not to others?
So in NUP, you see, the political environment we are working in as the opposition, all of us would have loved to have party primaries. You know that. But given the environment we are working in, it does not allow for us to have party primaries freely, because there can be infiltration, there can be manipulation of the process. That is why the party decided on a vetting process. We have a vetting process that different leaders go through. So, you know, if I do not get the party ticket, of course I have to give excuses. We politicians always have excuses for why we failed. Even when we are supposed to hold ourselves accountable that what didn't I do right to deserve the party ticket, we shall always transfer the excuse on someone else. And I've seen very many politicians do that, and also the entitlement. You've seen very many politicians came from different political parties, and they came to NUP with that entitlement that I am supposed to get the party ticket, and if I do not get it, I am better than these people. These people are like this NUP, Banobayaga, for us we are better than them. So many of those people came with that entitlement. So we have to show them that this is not a party of entitlement, this is a party of works. And people who had actually worked, many of them were rewarded. And I am happy that some people didn't get the party tickets, because I think even after not getting them, we saw their true colors. So many of that is going to happen in 2026. Many will not get party tickets, and we shall be able to also observe their true colors.
Interesting. Allow us welcome Mr. Lubega Mukaku, member of the newest kid on the block, the Democratic Front. Right now, I'm describing you as a member of the DF. Please detail us, give us some detail rather on your designation before we begin the questions. You're welcome to Morning at NTV, my very first time to host you.
Thank you very much, and good morning to also to colleague panelists, especially my long friend Opio and the comrade. And comrade within the party that have served for a long time, and I hope we shall remain with that camaraderie despite the political challenges that we are having. Also, my colleague from the NUP, I made my contribution, and I'm happy to see them function as they should, despite the fact that they have a lot of challenges. I am Samuel Walter Mukaku, as you have said. I happen to be one of the principal promoters of the DA, Democratic Alliance, which is not a party, it is an alliance, and we hope that we can work with even colleagues here. DF is one of the newest formations with a legal face that we have just welcomed and given birth to. What happens in the immediate or near future, if we agree to create a bloc, and we are working on that one, because we can't have everyone coming with his small party to present himself. We shall inform you. Yeah.
Interesting there. I've had, you know, a block. It's an introduction of another form of vehicle ahead of the 2026
within the alliance.
Alliance, party, bloc. Interesting. What is the DF?
The DF is a political party.
What is your
like any other? Now in Uganda, it was originally the Green Partisan Party. They worked on their rebranding successfully, and for a year and a half, they have gone through all the processes, and it is now with us.
Okay. The information we do have is that the founding members of the DF include one Mezafaru Sentongo, Robert Muchibi, Stephen Kato, Ivan Lutu, Farida Nakaiwa, Samuel Busiku, Madina Nakavuma, Jamil Sali, as well as Bruno Sekuburwa. I hope I got that pronunciation right. When you say they rebranded, we are talking about these ones. Now, how does the team that is led or appears to be led by Honorable Mpuga come to take over? What is the understanding between Mr. Mpuga's group and the likes of Muzafaru Sentongo and Robert Muchibi? The reason I'm asking this is that the DP's formation mirrors that of the National Unity Platform, where we had a certain gentleman, Moses Chibalama, contest the NOP under Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu. I don't think we are setting ourselves up for this, but we need to understand exactly what is happening. What is there a memorandum of understanding between Mr. Mpuga's group and? You want to add a question?
No, just a second. I think in my observation, you are bombarding my colleague, my senior colleague, with questions, and yet in his submission he appears not to appreciate that he's a member of the DF. I do not know whether, I just want for
clarity.
Clarity.
No doubt. My apologies for I don't think I'm bombarding.
I think the comrade.
I've offered
I'm okay for being bombarded.
I'm
okay for being bombarded. But I think what he wanted is he seemed to be spot on. He got the clarity.
Okay.
As I said,
you are not
DF is one of the newest members, and I've told you that originally it was that, and you've read the leadership. They have gone through a process of rebranding, which has taken about a year and a half. Many things were in the Gazette. I hope you are following the Gazette. You don't follow this fake news within the social media.
Absolutely.
And they have successfully rebranded, and they are here with us. What I am telling you, we are going to have a process. One of the processes that we want, we shall look at what they are. Of course, you're talking about Comrade Matthias Mpuga. As far as I'm concerned, Matthias Mpuga leads a group called the My Leader Team. It's a citizen formation within the DA. Like I lead the DP block, it's a citizen block, a citizen formation. It's not a political party. And my friend Opio knows how this one came up. Now, what we are trying to see is that with the parties that have got a legal face under the constitution of Uganda, can we also make them work together? Like, you know, how the ANC works in South Africa. ANC is an alliance of smaller groups and smaller parties within. 3 parties. Together, and then some other small parties. The Labour Party in the UK is Labour Party with the cooperatives and with the trade unions. They also work together. While the Labour Party is a party, the cooperatives are cooperatives, but they have an alliance. And you never see the cooperatives on the face of the whatever. This is something we are trying to work on, given the encumbrances of the constitutional encumbrances that were put in our constitution in the CA to stop parties from allying or merging. And you know, when the Democratic Party wanted to have that cooperation, you can see the ugly face of it, even within, you have Comrade Mao on the other side, then this side, because the laws are so rigid that they have become rigid with even the one who created them.
Why have you chosen to complicate an already complicated political landscape? You're talking of My Elder League, the one that you say Mr. Mpuga leads within the alliance. There was, I don't think the media has misquoted anybody or reported the news the wrong way. Mr. Mpuga said his new political vehicle, home, is the Democratic Front. It is one of the parties under the Democratic Alliance. Now you're talking about my other league within that particular system. Why are you, in words of some other people, speaking too much English? Speak to the Ugandans.
You can engage the overdrive. I'm now telling you and confidently informing you because I'm one of the principal promoters of the DA.
Democratic Alliance. DF.
Of the DA.
DA.
No, it's DA, not DF.
DA is a corporation of different parties, citizen formations, and entities and individuals. Now, as I have given you the details, that up to yesterday, Comrade Mpuga was leading a group called the My Leader Team.
The My Leader.
The My Leader Team. I was leading the DP block.
Within the alliance.
Within the alliance. And a number of other principal promoters were also leading. And we have also talked to
So Mr. Mpuga has chosen to transition from My Leader
without communication.
If today he informed you, if today or between yesterday and today he has informed you that, that's great. But we are working on a process. Because as you said, we need to avoid the situation which the National Unity Party fell into. The situation of the Kibalamism, if I can borrow that word, and we have to be very careful. Some of us like my colleague Opio, and he is from that angle. We try to be meticulous, whatever we do. Until 2020, we had tried our level best to create that people power thing. You remember?
I love what you say.
Yes.
You love to be meticulous.
Yes, we want to be meticulous. And we have also been around seeing what NUP has been facing. We don't want to go through the same scenario. And I'm informing you officially that is the situation. Maybe after the week, maybe after a month or two, you might hear us telling you now we have a block of parties within the alliance.
I want to ask a question.
Within the alliance. And a block of parties means it could be an electoral block, it could be a policy agenda block, it could be a governance block, it could be all of it.
Mr. Mukaku, have you received communication from Mr. Matthias Mpuga as a member or as a promoter of the Democratic Alliance about his decision and all the developments that happened yesterday?
That answer would best be given by Mpuga. I've given you up to yesterday.
No, have you received communication? You're a member of the Alliance, right?
I've given you, I hope this is on the court.
No,
but I've given you, and I'm speaking with authority.
Yeah.
I've told you up to yesterday.
Up to yesterday.
Up to yesterday. If between yesterday and today he has told you he has already spoken to DF and is now a member, that's all right. And it is his freedom, by the way.
Wow. You have a question?
I think probably is answered, but maybe for clarity, I wanted to probably speak if Mr. Mukaku and the DA had agreed that they are not joining DF, does that speak to the character of Mpuga that they agreed as members of DA, how they are moving? Then Mpuga the other day, yesterday, launches a party because he launched it. We saw it. We were online, we were observing, and he said this is his political vehicle. So that is what I wanted to ask. The good thing he has already clarified. Now we know.
I hope you can't clarify this because I'm the man in charge of the DA and it's the way it is moving, together with the colleagues. As of yesterday, we were very clear. I don't want to use her words, I want to use our words.
Let's use your words.
Our words.
Because we don't know about the rest.
Yesterday, the DA gave birth to the newest member of the DA. And I've told you that group and that party is called the DF after rebranding. It was the partisan party. And we welcomed them at our national headquarters. Not before, have you ever heard the DF operating at our national headquarters? So the process began yesterday by welcoming them, and I've told you we are now going to discuss how we can cooperate further, deeper. And if we can, the deepest we shall reach, we shall be informing you. So I don't want anybody to put words in our mouth.
No, we haven't.
We are going step by step, and I've told you we are meticulous on doing this. That's why even on the DA cooperation, we didn't want to say or assume. For example, when we wanted the National Unity Platform, we wrote to them. We wrote to the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party was even more positive than the National Unity Platform, but they had some reservations. We are here to expedite them. FDC, for example, was even more positive than them. JEMA was even more positive, but it's a process. You can't force anybody. Probably in the delegates conferences of DP and the NUP, they might talk about it and get the mandates that we want, because we want to come as a united opposition where possible, a coalition of the willing.
I would like to put journalism on the spot and in a way put myself on the spot and Nation Media Group on the spot. Today, Derek Wandera is reporting who is who in Democratic Front. At the launch of the Democratic Front, Mr. Mpuga was joined by Kimanya Kabonera MP, Kabonera Abed Bwanika, who previously was a member of the People's Development Party, to join NUP, as well as Lubega Mukaku and Mike Mabike, both formerly of the Democratic Party bloc. I want to ask the question, What is the reporter misreporting here?
You have now you have the answers. I'm here. The reporter reported. Many times we have taken reporters to courts of law, but I'm now here speaking with authority. What other answers do you want?
I think I think we should be fair to my senior.
No, I'm being fair.
Because
I'm only seeking clarity.
Because
No doubt.
Because the source is here. We shouldn't delve into the nitty-gritty, the details. He has spoken, and his word is that it has been misreported. But only my concern is, or my question, simply, because there is a confusion to people who do not follow, who do not follow keenly the political events. They may confuse DA with DF, but the two are different.
No, that is clear.
According to him, DA is an alliance that involves other political players. Now, the new recruit is the Democratic Front.
So where does
he has not told you that he is a member of the Democratic Front.
No, he hasn't.
But he is a promoter of the DA, the Democratic Alliance. Though he's coming from a different entity, he's representing a different entity in the alliance, but DF is also there.
In the alliance.
Now, whether Mpuga has elected to be a member of DF or not, we shouldn't really spend much time on that.
No,
His right.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brain.
Absolutely. I'm not spending so much time on it, but we want to do a service to the country. Politicians love to say so many words. You're all politicians, and I'm sure you will appreciate that. The mere fact that when we ask what happened yesterday, and Mr. Mukaku suggests he has no inclinations to the DF, which is part of the alliance.
Let me put
and he hasn't received communication from DF on the fact that we launched
on their new recruit.
And yet he's widely reported and has been seen.
No, but look,
I'm trying to understand.
The good thing, I am in the studio.
You're here.
Secondly, you are saying you came driving that minibus. And I'm only telling you, I was a passenger. The driver was Opio. Now you say, but anyway, it is widely reported you came driving that minibus.
So you are the driver.
Why don't we go to the topic?
Interesting there. What do you make of this whole thing? The lack of clarity going ahead. I'm glad he says they are going to be welcoming other people. I believe anybody else can say, hey, the Democratic Alliance seems to be solid on ideology and a strategy ahead of 2026. What do you see happening in the next 1 month if news coming through, as Mr. Mukaku says, is anything to go by?
Well, I do not want to...
Do we see the block?
I do not want to call it lack of clarity.
Could you join the alliance?
With utmost level of fairness.
Okay.
I think
maybe lack of understanding.
I think
it could also be that.
I take his submission as being true, unless the contrary emerges. But my observation is that you see, I have been wondering why this time around, as we gear towards elections, we are not talking about alliances as the opposition, and yet all the previous times we have been making alliances, or there has been attempts to make alliances. By this time round, it appeared as if we were really very, very silent about it, or complacent with the status quo. I am glad that it has come up. And I think the most important question, or the fundamental question that will help this alliance really be of value, is for us to ask question, the fundamental question, that what did we not do in the previous alliances that we must do in this alliance to see to it that it succeeds. That is one. Two, I sense a lot of egoism in the opposition, because there are some players, some political players who think they are too big and
to be led.
Others are too small, so they may not have a substantive contribution.
And it has been a syndrome for some time.
If they ally, yeah, of course, I'm anchoring it on the history. So, and initially, usually, by the way, that player is the leader of opposition. When the FDC was leading the opposition, the same thing used to happen. I do not know about NUP because we've not yet tried. But one thing I know is that in an alliance, if you bring players, I think it is most important for us to appreciate the contribution of each player, regardless of how small they may appear to be. And that one answers the fundamental question, because that is a challenge that we've been facing. Now, when we deal with that one, we shall have moved a step towards having the alliance made effective. Otherwise, if we don't do that, if we don't kill our ego and appreciate everybody's contribution to the struggle, that means we shall continue having these alliances put in a limbo all the time, but when they have not served the purpose for which they were formed.
Dr. Nalkwago, the PFF has appeared to approach the National Unity Platform. On Monday, there were talk of collaboration. Brief us on what that is. Is it the attempt at an alliance, or is it going to be simply a collaboration?
One, it depends on what is within the alliance. Of course, the talks are still ongoing, but okay. The alliance stroke, the collaboration depends on what we are going to agree on. Are we going to stand under the same umbrella, or are we going to work? You remain in PFF, we remain in NUP, but there are some key principles we agree on that in this position, we are going to move like this. Those are some things we are still discussing as the two parties. Okay. Of course, definitely we welcome alliances. They are very important, and collaborations are important. But one, we're not going to be pushed into working with people who are just there for political positions. We made mistakes, like I told you, in 2021, 2022. Yes, 2020, 2021, we made mistakes. I think you've seen them and how they have affected us. So I think as a party, we are very keen this time round. We are so observant of the collaborations, alliances, or who we are bringing into the party. So it's a once bitten, twice shy, a situation that we are in. So we are very observant, we are very keen. We do not want to be taken just like we were taken in 2021. Interesting there. Yes. All right, now I'm going to submit on, you want to respond?
Yeah, and
please do.
Sometimes listening to sense of reason and sometimes experience matters before we make mistakes. Okay. You remember during that time, and Opio will bear me witness, when we're constructing that kind of cooperation, which materialized into people power, we gave warning, said we could work within the people power as entities. DP, JEMA, even the newcomer, like now we have you have been talking about the DF.
That is right.
And the NUP. But the whole thing at that material time, from the leaders then, who are now leaders of the NUP, they were saying, if you are not NUP, you are not with us. Now, she's attesting to that mistake. Wasted 5 years. You don't have to cooperate or collaborate positively and engage just within the party, you can't collaborate when you're different parties.
No doubt.
On policy issues, on even if you remain opposition, on a legislative agenda, and you move on and you push the dictatorship in the corner. But unfortunately, this syndrome of thinking that you must be under that firm arm, control, rigid discipline, party discipline, cannot work. I can see it even now today. You go to DP, you say, if you are Jude, you can't work from the other, come here. If you are this, then again, even the spirit for you to ally becomes untenable. Because when I see that you are poaching my members, and you tell me, you come, we shall work together, then I know you might have a different agenda.
All right, quickly, I have less than a minute. Let me ask you this question. I'm looking here at an umbrella, that is the Democratic Alliance, that has now DF. It has, what are the other members of the
It has SDP,
Alliance?
it has PDP,
SDP,
it has
PDP.
It has us who are the DP bloc, the DP, yeah?
The DP?
The DP bloc. It has my leader team now. It has individuals.
This DP bloc, what is its?
Those are the members of the Democratic Party.
Because we have a Democratic Party
originally, like I am, and I'm
so
here.
So they're still DP members?
And I'm
You're
here.
still DP.
And I'm here. And I'm here. Who feel that probably there are some bits that we needed to sort, which are not yet sorted.
Within the Democratic Party?
Yes.
Interesting there. This will do it for the Kickstarter. And there we have it. I hope there is clarity, especially as the nation gears up for the 2026 general election. Alliances, this has been hammered down as something that can be achieved by the opposition, especially if the NRM or President Yoweri Museveni, for that matter, because that's the reality, can be pushed to the corner. Stay with us.